Good morning, all of you. In today's session, we are going to start with the 10th class chemistry and physics. So here, in this session, we are going to discuss about unit 1 of this 10th class chemistry. So detailed discussion about this topic is going to be done from unit 1. So this is a periodic table, which is very essential in order to discuss whatever properties we need. That's the reason why we kept here. And first lesson, we are going to start with the unit 1, that is reflection of light on curved surfaces. We are going to start with reflection of light on curved surfaces. Okay. So before entering into actual concept, first let us know what is meant by light and how it will be originated. What are the important properties of this one, right? So this light, whatever light we are getting, that is coming from sun. So that is given in the form of nuclear fusion reaction. Small teeny atoms of hydrogen got combined and helium molecule got generated. Along with that, light radiation and heat both are generated and both are moving through the universe in a perpendicular manner, and that light having the property of electromagnetic radiation. Electrical vector and magnetic vector both are operated in that light in the perpendicular manner, and it is measured either in terms of wavelength or frequency, right? So here wavelength is measured, otherwise frequency. So in these terms, we can measure the intensity of light. So this electromagnetic radiation of light are generally fragmented into different sectors: gamma rays, X-rays, ultraviolet radiation, followed by visible radiation, infrared, microwave, and radio waves. These are the various fragments of light. This is purely based on its either energy you can measure, frequency you can measure, or wavelength you can measure. If we are moving towards gamma rays, you can say here wavelength of the light will be decreased and energy of the radiation will be increased, as well as frequency of the radiation will be increased. So if we are moving towards the radio waves, what happens? Energy will be lower. This will be the descending order of energy, descending order of frequency, ascending order of wavelength, because energy and wavelength both are inversely proportional, both are reciprocal to each other, right? Gamma rays, which are very essential in the medicinal treatment, especially if we use in the radiotherapy, radiation therapy in the cancer treatment. X-rays also having so many multi-dimensional applications, and most probably we will use in order to predict the bone fragmentation or any bone fractures if present. Those can be predicted by these. Ultraviolet radiation is also very essential, even though in the higher intensity it causes some problems, but if we use in a proper way, in a wise way, it can be utilized in so many ways. It is very essential in the research for the prediction of new compounds, and also for the sterilization of water in order to remove any germs or microorganisms present in the water, and in order to treat the jaundice in the newborn infant. So in that case also ultraviolet radiation plays a vital role. And next is about visible radiation. Whatever light we are able to see and whatever things we are recognizing in our surroundings, that is purely because of this visible light. Human eye is able to capture the light in this region only, and this visible light is fragmented into 7 segments called VIBGR. And all these 7 colors purely based on their wavelength or energy, and this will be the correct order of this VIBGR. And next is about infrared radiation. Higher radiation also plays a vital role in the research, medicine, industry, as well as in our daily life. Okay, so in the electronic appliances, we are using wireless communication system, especially in the household purpose, we are using TV remotes. Those are operated by this IR radiation. And also for structural determination in the research, in that also IR radiation is a fingerprint for the prediction of functional groups present in the given compound. And even in the forensic department, defense, where you can find if any unwanted materials are present, that kind of diagnosis also possible by using this infrared radiation, right? So many applications we have. And next is about microwave region. This microwave region is the energy region where you can find the applications at household purpose, even industry, and also for whatever we are using wireless communication system totally based on this microwave radiation only. Microwave radiation is especially used in our mobile phones, whatever we are using. All these mobile phones operated in this region only. And microwave ovens, and also in the research we can synthesize so many materials under this microwave radiation process. So it is a green synthetic pathway. So in this way, microwave region also plays a vital role in our daily life. Next is about radio waves. So telecommunication system purely based on this radio waves, television, radio waves, all these are operated based on this only. And even NMR spectroscopy is a method which purely based on this radio waves, and it is very essential in the research and also in the medicinal purpose, right? So magnetic resonance imaging, MRI, what we are doing, that is purely based on these radio waves, and also in the research we can use this. So this is about the combination of all different fragments of electromagnetic radiation, all are together considered as a light. Now let us go into actual concept, how the reflection of light on the curved surfaces are possible. Before entering into that, first we have to know about what is meant by reflection of light. Is mean by reflection of light. So when we are taking any flat surface and light is able to pass through that, so whatever light waves we are passing, that is known as incident light, incident rays. Light what we are bombarding on the surface of the plane or flat surface, that is known as incident light. And after touching that surface, what happened, that used to change its direction and used to pass with a certain angle. So here, because it is not possible to go through this, so because we kept one kind of object in order to change its angle, that's the reason why incident light, when touches the surface of any mirror, for example, so what happens, it used to turn its direction and it will pass through certain angle. So here the light which is coming from the source, that is called incident light, and what light which is coming after the reflection is called reflected rays or reflected light. Here you can observe certain angle, incident light angle will be there, and also reflected light angle will be there in between, and from the center you can put a hypothetical line which is known as a normal, right? So now let us discuss about what is the definition of this reflection of light. Reflection is a light bounces off on the object. So when light originated from the source which bounces on the object, that kind of angle generated, that is called a reflection. Changing in its direction with certain angle, that is said to be a reflection. If the surface is smooth, shiny, like a glass or water, when you go with the polished metal, and light will reflect at the same angle as it hit on the surface. This is called a reflection. Whatever the surface, but its reflection will not be varied. Even it may be glass, water, polished metal, and even from the surface, whatever surface you are hitting, from that surface, the light angle of reflection will not be varied. This is known as a specular reflection. So this is the fundamental thing what we have to know. What is meant by reflection of light? Reflection is nothing but, so very simple example, we can discuss what we can notice in our daily life. When you take a glass of water, up to half level we can fill the glass of water, and you can insert a spoon into that. So when you observe, so spoon, whatever you are taking, that is in the straight line actually. When you kept into water, what happens? You can observe that from that water surface, you can observe that spoon is looking like it is some extent curved. But when you took up that spoon from the water, you can see that is in the straight line only. But when it kept into water, so you observe that certain extent of curvature, certain extent of angle you can observe. That's purely because of reflection of light. So light from one surface to another surface, it used to pass through certain angle. It changes its direction. It is not moving in the straight line. If it is moving in a straight line, you can observe that spoon when entered into water, here there also you can see the straight line, but here that looks with a certain angle. That is the simplest example for this reflection of light. Now let us discuss whatever questions which are given in your 10th class chemistry textbook. Before entering into that, first we will discuss about whatever questions given here. The mirror used in the automobiles is a plain mirror, or why it is showing the small images? The question is, so is it a small plain mirror, or why it is showing a small images, right? So in order to answer this, so here in case of automobiles, two kind of mirrors are employed. One is called a convex mirror, second is called a concave mirror. Convex mirror is nothing but if the mirror used to bulge outside, that is known as a convex mirror. Concave mirror is in nothing but which used to give it looks like a hyperbola. So inside a curvature will be there. If outside a curvature is there, that is known as a convex mirror. Inside a curvature is there, that is known as a concave mirror. Okay, so if any automobile outside mirrors, if you are observing, so outside mirrors, if you are observing, they are used to give the image of the objects whichever present in the surroundings in the small picture, right? So here and inside that vehicle, if you observe what happens, it is a kind of system where the curvature will be there inside, and here the object will be represented in this. Okay, so here the answer for this one will be automobiles plain mirror you are using? No. One is outside curvature mirror called a convex. Second is inside curvature mirror called a concave mirror. Now we will discuss about why it is showing a small image. The reason for showing small image will be focal length of the power of the convex mirror is negative, right? So here when you especially in case of convex mirror, you can observe the smallest objects in that mirror. With respect to that exact object, you can observe the smallest picture of that one. That is purely because of focal length and power of the convex is negative. So focal length value is negative, and also mirror used to give the picture in such a manner. Diverging mirror means all the points are not accompanied at the single point. All are not focusing on the single point. Instead, all the light rays will be diverged. They are used to reflect in different angles. So because of that reason, because of these two reasons, the picture of that object will be represented in the small form. What are the two things? One is focal length or in the power of the convex mirror are negative. Focal length value is negative. This we will discuss in detail in this chapter. And second is about diverging mirror. Diverging mirror in the sense, whatever light rays falling on that, they will reflect in different directions. They are not associated. They are moving in different directions. Because of these two reasons, the image will be appeared in the smallest one. So this is the answer for one question. And next question is the image formed by the bulged surface is same the image formed by the plane mirror? Just now we discussed. So if plane mirror is there, that will give the different kind of reflection. And if you are taking bulged surface is nothing but which is enlarged outside, that is known as a bulged surface. In that case, what happens, whatever figure you are seeing, that is not exactly looks like whatever appeared in the plane surface. In order to explain that, we have three different mirrors here. I'm taking a spoon. Teaspoon was taken. So outside it works like a convex mirror. Inside, because the internal curvature is there, that works like a concave mirror. And here plane mirror was taken where no curvature is there. It is a flat one. So plane mirror was taken. In three cases, how the picture will be appeared, we are going to observe. When you see the picture on this convex mirror, it looks like a smaller one when compared to the original one. And here is the image even on the concave mirror, it represented in the inverted manner. Whatever picture is there, that is represented in the inverted, not a vertical one, inverted manner. So this is the concave mirror. And when you take the plane mirror was taken. Here is the object. We are taking a candle here. This candle is represented exactly same on the flat mirror. So plane mirror is representing the picture structure as such on the flat mirror. These are the three different comparison of figures or images which are given by concave mirror, convex mirror, concave mirror, and the plane mirror. So convex mirror will give smaller image, concave mirror will give inverted image, plane mirror will give exact image. These are the various images which are provided by different kind of mirrors. Now let us move on to any other question. This is, why does our face appears thin and bulged out in some mirrors? That is purely because of its focal length distance and also reflection of the light. The type of image that is formed in the mirror depends upon reflecting surface. If you are taking plane mirror, whatever your image is there, same will be appeared there. So in case of plane mirror, you will observe exact image of you. But it will be the mirror image that will be opposite in direction. If the mirror has the plane reflecting surface, image formed will be the same size of that object what we are taking. Whereas if we look in the mirror that is bulged or bent or curvature is there, that appears thin. So just now we discussed about convex mirror. Convex mirror, what happens? It is bulged outside, enlarged outside, so that what happens? So curvature is there, and whatever light coming on that will be concised, and you can observe the thin film on that. So plane surface as such image you can observe. On the convex mirror, bulged surface is nothing but convex mirror only. On that you can observe the smallest image of the starting material. And also if you are taking concave, that will be inverted. So same question is repeated in the different manner. So why does our image appears thin or bulged out in this some mirrors? So it will appears as a thin. When it will be thin? When you are using convex mirror. That is purely because of when the curvature is there, reflection will be different. When bulged mirror was taken, thin film will be appeared. When you are taking plane one, as such you can observe, right? So this is the probable answer for this question. Let us move on to next question. Can we see inverted image in any mirror? Just now we discussed where can you find the inverted image. Inverted image is found in concave mirror. Concave mirror is nothing but which is having curvature inside. Which is having curvature inside. This is the object what we are trying to see. This is the object. When light passes through this, and that light, after this object, that light is able to fall on this concave mirror, it able to give the image, it able to give the concentrate the image in this manner, which is inverted in nature. So inverted image you can observe when you are taking concave mirror. So an inverted image cannot be seen on the plane mirror, and even on the convex mirror you can't observe. Only inverted image is possible on the concave mirror. Concave mirror is nothing but which is having curvature inside. Which is having curvature inside. In that case, inverted image is possible. That is mainly because of when the object is placed behind the focus. So if you are having the center point at this and behind the center point, if you are placing the object, then only it is possible to get this inverted one. So if the object location is between the focus and the pole, then the image formed virtual and direct. So if you are taking this object in front of this middle point, in front of this middle point, what happens? Again, it will be vertical only. Away from this middle point, then only you can observe inverted mirror. If it is placed here, if you are taking this object and placing in between this C and the mirror, so that what happens? Again, it will be appeared like a vertical one only. So here the condition required is away from the middle point. If object is there, this concave mirror is able to give the image in the reverse manner, reciprocal manner, inverted manner, right? So this is a probable answer for this question. Let us move on to next question. Can we focus on the sunlight at the point using mirror instead of magnifying glass? So if you are using magnifying glass, what happens? Sunlight can be concentrated and you can generate the heat. That is the general trend what we can observe. Heat is generated by using magnifying lens. It is possible to concentrate on the paper or any object which is easily combustible. so that it is possible to burn that one, it is possible to generate the heat. So in the same manner, can you use any kind of these mirrors? Other than this magnifying glass, any mirror is used in order to generate that kind of focusing of light. So it is possible. We can buy using concave mirror. So concave mirror is nothing but the curvature is present inside. This concave mirror used to concentrate the light in the same single point, so that sunlight will be concentrated just like magnifying glass. What is the purpose of magnifying glass? In order to observe the smaller object which are not clearly visible to the human eye. So that can be clearly visible by using that magnifying glass. And even concentration of sunlight is possible and used to generate the heat. In the similar manner, here these concave mirrors can be used in order to concentrate the light in the single point. So it is the probable answer for this question, right? So at the focal point of the mirror, and the concaves are the parabolic shaped. So if hyperbola is there, that is called a convex mirror. Parabola, that means in curvature is there inside, that is called a parabola, right? Here you can observe this curvature inside, which is called a parabola. The outside mirror, if we are using this mirror as outside, this is called hyperbola, but we are using inside, right? That's why you can say it is the parabola shape. Concave mirror used to concentrate sunlight, just like a magnifying glass, right? Let us move on to next one. Last question of this. Are the angle of reflection and angle of incidence also equal for reflection by curved surface? So in general, first, in order to answer this, first we have to know what is the consequence of the plane surface. I'm taking the plane surface and the source of the light was taken. That source of light is able to fall on the surface of this flat surface, and it will change the direction. It will move with a certain angle. So this light which is originated from the source is called incident light. After the light changing its direction, whatever it is moving, called a reflected light. Incident light and reflected light, just now we discussed. So incident light falling on the surface with certain angle, whatever angle is there, that exactly equals to reflected angle. So here is the hypothetical line called normal, and angle of incident light and angle of reflected light both are exactly equal. This is for normal, flat, plane surface. But the question is, angle of reflection and angle of incident are equal for curved surface. So this is equal on the plane surface. It is very clear to us. Now we have to observe on the curved surface whether it is correct or not, right? So in order to explain that, first we have to discuss about what is meant by reflection. Just now we discussed, but let us repeat. Reflection is nothing but bouncing of light on the surface of any matter. So if you are bouncing on the surface of mirror, what happens? It will pass through certain angle. So that is known as a reflection of light. So for example, we are taking a ball. If ball hitting on the surface, what happens? It will move with certain angle, just like this light. So here light is also bouncing in such a manner, how the ball hitting on the surface and moving with certain angle, right? So this can include visible light or other parts of the electromagnetic radiation. Whatever light source we are passing, we are bouncing on the surface, that will pass through certain angle, right? So and the angle of incident and angle of reflection both are equal. This is called a law of reflection. So these two angles are exactly equal. This is called a law of reflection. This law of reflection even extended to curved surfaces also. That is the probable answer for the question. Angle of reflection and angle of incidence are exactly equal even for curved surface. That is in accordance with law of reflection, right? So by this entire questions of this unit 1 were completed. Now let us discuss about actual topic of this unit 1. Reflection of light by spherical mirrors. If you are taking the spherical mirrors, how the reflection of light is possible? Just now we discussed what is meant by reflection of light. Light passing through this origin and bouncing on the or hitting on any surface, for example, it is a mirror, and it will travel through certain angle, this entire process is said to be a reflection of light, right? Incident light and reflection light is incident light angle, and the reflected light angle will be generated from the hypothetical line, right? So now let us discuss about reflection of light by spherical mirrors. If you are taking the spherical mirror, this is the spherical mirror we can observe, and the light passing through this one, and what will happen? A spherical mirror is that mirror whose reflecting surface is a part of hollow sphere of the glass. We are taking a glass mirror, for example. Here inner part is a curvature, and here you have hollow part. That means a open cavity will be there. In this hollow sphere of the glass, we are bouncing the light from the origin, right? Spherical mirrors are two types. These spherical mirrors, the spherical mirrors are nothing but curved mirrors only, curvature containing mirrors. These are basically classified into two types, concave mirror and convex mirror. What is meant by concave mirror? What is meant by convex mirror? Just now we discussed. Concave mirror is nothing but if that mirror having curvature inside called parabola. If the mirror having bulged outside, having hyperbola structure, enlarged structure outside, that is called convex mirror. Concave mirror reflection of light takes place in the bent of the surface or concave surface. Concave surface, outer part of the region will experience the light. So hyperbola region will experience the light, and the reflection of light takes place in the surface. In the convex mirror, the reflection of light takes place at the bulging out part or surface of the convex. Just now we discussed, wherever enlarged part is there, that enlarged part. Here you can clearly observe this outer region is said to be an enlarged part. Here only the reflection of light pattern will be carried, right? So here, first law of reflection. We will discuss about what is meant by first law of reflection. The first law of reflection states that incident ray and the reflected ray normal to the surface of the mirror are lay on the same plane and make the equal angle applicable to the plane and the curved surfaces as well. Just now we discussed law of reflection. So that law of reflection itself called as first law of reflection. Incident ray and reflected ray are used to create the equal or identical angle with respect to the hypothetical normal, right? So incident light is nothing but light originated from the source. Reflected light is nothing but light which is coming after bouncing from the surface. Whether it may be plane surface or curved surface, in both the cases, angle generated will be identical. That is known as first law of reflection. Now there is an activity. So we are going to perform the activity in order to understand what is the plane mirror, what is the convex mirror, what is the concave mirror. In order to identify these three types, we are going to perform an activity. For that purpose, we are taking a rubber sole. So that rubber sole was made into three fragments, three equal fragments. Otherwise, you can take a single fragment of that rubber sole also. So this small piece of rubber sole was taken. On that identical distance containing four points were identified. On that, you have to hook these four nails. Four nails were inserted onto the surface of this rubber sole, right? So now you can consider this is a plane mirror. This is a figure 1A. Take a plain rubber sole, fix the pins on the surface. So those pins should be perpendicular. What is meant by perpendicular? Perpendicular is nothing but from the surface, if you are making 90 degrees angle, that is said to be a perpendicular, right? So here, perpendicular to the rubber sole, each pin represents a normal point. Each pin is the normal here. Normal is nothing but just now we discussed the hypothetical light which is originated in the center is called a normal, and a light incident on the pin reflects with the same angle. So if you consider this as a normal, we are taking a light and incident on its surface, and it will be bounced back so that you can observe that same angle on its surface. on the pin reflects with the same angle. It works like a plane mirror. Now this rubber sole is working like a plane mirror, and these pins are working like a normals. And if you're irradiating with the light source, what happens? That used to give the angle, incident light angle and even reflected light angle will be generated on its surface. This is a case 1. Now let us observe condition 2, where we are going to bend that rubber sole inward. So when inward curvature is observed, just it looks like a parabola. When parabola structure is there, you can observe this will be the concave mirror. It works like a concave mirror. Now we are passing light through this one. When light is irradiated on its surface, what happens? Light will be used to fall on this, and all the light rays used to combine each other. That is called convergence. All light rays are used to unite themselves at a particular point. This is called convergence of the light. This is called convergence of the light. Now let us go with case 3. In the case 3, what you are doing, take the same rubber sole and you have to bend it in the outward direction. When you bend it in the outward direction, all these nails are coming out and the inward pull will be there. Now here you can observe the bulged surface, enlarged surface called hyperbola. Now you are able to pass the light upon this. You have to incident the light on this. When light rays falls on its surface, they used to pass in the manner called divergent manner. All the light rays are departed with each other, which is clearly observed here. This is known as a divergent light. In case of parabola, nothing but concave mirror, the light is passing is called a convergent light. In case of this one, the light passing is called a divergent light, right? So here, this is the simplest example for concave mirror, and this is the inner parabola is called a concave mirror, and this plane one is called a plane mirror. So 3 possibilities we observed. Interference. So this is the experiment we done. After doing this experiment, what is the conclusion? What you observed from this experiment? For a concave mirror, like these pins figure 1b, when you see 1b concave mirror, all normals will be converged towards the point. They are used to converge towards the point. They are used to unite at particular instance. So that is called a convergence. So that is observed in concave mirror. This point is called the center of curvature, where all the points are interfering. That is said to be a center of curvature. So this is a point you can observe. This is called center of curvature, right? So center of curvature of the mirror, that is denoted with the point C, right? So recall a little bit of geometry. So that is the main interference you observed in case of this one. And here divergence of the light is there. That means that they are moving in the different directions in case of convex mirror, which observed in the hyperbola type of structure. This will be the main inference you observed from this activity. Now we are going to discuss about the small thing called the recall of the little bit of geometry. So I'm taking the spherical structure. Spherical object was taken from the center. If you are drawing the hypothetical line, that is said to be a radius, denoted with small r. Okay. So here from the center, if you are extending the line to the surface, that line is called small r. Small r denotes what? Radius of that circle, radius of this sphere, right? While learning about the circles and the tangents, tangent is nothing but hypothetical line drawn from the surface that should be perpendicular to this radius. Okay. You may that radius is always perpendicular to the tangent to the circle drawn in the point. Here you can clearly observe one line which is passing through the surface. This is a line denoted with tangent, and the line which is passing from the center is called a radius. So the condition in case of this one, the condition in case of this geometry will be this radius and tangent both are perpendicular to each other. That is nothing but both are 90 degrees angle, right angle to each other. That is the condition in case of this geometry. By this, we completed first part. Let us assume this is the series 1. Let us make all the lessons into different series because it will be easy for your preparation. So if you are taking lengthy video, it will be very difficult to understand, and observing power is also becomes very less, and it is very difficult to make that such video also. That's the reason why let us make into all the concepts into different series. Let us assume this is the series number 1 from unit number 1 of 10th class chemistry and physics. So hope this session will be helpful for your preparation. Thank you very much for your consistent listening. Thank you very much.